the top 20 players from our first 20 seasons this year, and they will make up the first class of the Atlantic Hockey Hall of Honor. The first honoree will be announced on September 27th, and the remaining honorees will be announced on a weekly basis throughout the regular season. So those are everything we have from an introduction standpoint. We're going to begin the call here with our first coach. Each coach will be on for approximately 10 minutes. And we will begin with head coach Frank Serratore from Air Force. Coach, I'm moving you over and you can begin. Okay, Coach, you're on. Please begin with an opening statement, then we'll take questions. Coach, you're on mute.
Yeah, I know.
There you go, Coach. Go right ahead.
Yeah. No, this is a different system every time, and the old man struggles with it. Can you see me, or is it just a name there?
Just a name, but.
Oh, that's too bad because I'm looking pretty good today. I'm having a good old man day. I'm having my coffee. It's early. How come you have the guy in the West who has to? It's 9 o'clock here. How come you make the old guy in the West? Because I'm an old guy. You may know I'm up early anyway. But anyway, I digress. I'm just sitting here glancing at the Atlantic coaches. Like, our coaches are fantastic. They are really, really good hockey operators. They're great teachers. They're great recruiters. I can't think of anything that our coaches aren't really, really, really good. And I mean from top to bottom. The only thing we're not very good at is picking the preseason poll. We are, like, I'm looking at this right now and I'm seeing Holy Cross in last place. Well, is that the Holy Cross team that swept us at home last year towards the end of the season when we were hitting on all cylinders? Is that the Holy Cross team that was probably the best last place team in the history of Atlantic hockey? I'll tell you what, it's fun to do these little polls, but I'm going to tell you right now that we got a better chance. You got a better chance of hitting the Powerball, throwing the numbers out and hitting the Powerball than getting this preseason poll right. But one thing about it, I noticed that we're picked third this year instead of ninth. We were picked ninth out of 10 teams last year, and I'm glad to see that our late season run got everybody's attention a little bit. Last year was a tough year. We had no seniors, no 4-year seniors, let alone 5-year seniors and grad transfers and all that type of thing. We had the youngest team in the country with one 4-year senior picked to finish ninth out of 10 teams. And if we weren't the team of the year last year, you can't take anything away from AIC, but we were sure the surprise team of the year, being picked ninth out of 10 teams and ending up making it to the championship game. Real proud. It was one of my most gratifying seasons, and I've had a lot of gratifying seasons here, but that was one of the most, the biggest, most gratifying seasons ever. All right, this year, we've got everybody back except our goalie. We got to replace a valuable puzzle piece with Alex Schilling. But we have a lot of optimism. We're a year older. I can just see by our guys in the locker room how much bigger and stronger they are. They've all had time in the weight room, and we've got a room full of men. We got more men. We're more man than boy in our locker room. Last year, we were more boy than man. We've got a little bit more depth, and we are optimistic, and we should be optimistic. You know what? Every team in this league should be optimistic because the parity is fantastic. But like from our standpoint, we're optimistic, but we're cautiously optimistic, knowing, that, hey, if we don't bring it like that young team brought it last year, we're going to be losing 1-goal games at the end of the season instead of winning 1-goal games. the margin of error between success and failure, between winning and losing, is so small in college hockey in general. Not to mention, it's even tighter, it's even smaller within the framework of our league. No, we have a very homogenous field. Like I said, I have the utmost respect for all of my colleagues. We have a great bunch of coaches. They're good. These guys are really good operators. And like I said, they don't miss anything when it comes to coaching their teams, tactics, recruiting. They're on it. And this year is going to be another battle. And after this call is over, you can crumple this piece of paper with the preseason rankings and throw it in the garbage, because it means nothing, just like it meant nothing last year.
Okay, Coach, thank you. We're going to take questions. First one is from Chris Lurch. Chris, go ahead.
Hi, Coach.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Good. So you have
nice
four goalies.
Nice picture there, Chris. Nice picture.
I
like,
clean up well.
You look really good. You know what? I just got to get you a blue tie, and you'll be like, yeah, okay, let's go.
So you replacing Schilling, as you said, is your biggest challenge. You got four goalies. Is it an open battle right now for the starting position?
It's open. It's open every day. It's open every weekend. But right now, Blessing is right now is the front runner early on here. Obviously, we've only been able to practice a couple times a week, and but Blessing, he was our backup last year to Schilling coming down the stretch, and right now he's played well enough where it's his job to lose right now. The other three guys are doing a good job, and they're battling behind him. And hey, it's all going to get down to who can perform in the games. But right now, if we had to play a game tomorrow, Guy Blessing would be our goalie.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Next question is for Abby Bennett. Abby, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. I wanted to ask you real quick, is there any way you can turn on your camera just so I can get it on the recording?
It says you cannot start. I have a little thing here, Abby. You cannot start your video because the host has stopped it. So I'm for once, it's not my fault, Abby.
Okay.
Let me see if I can fix that. Go ahead. Go.
You.
Coach, go ahead. Abby, go ahead. Ask your question, please.
Okay, thank you. All right, Coach. So you are entering your 26th season at Air Force, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I lose track. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I know you already touched on how you've seen this team become more of man than boy. Is there anything that stood out to you with this team that just made it so special heading into the season?
Well, everybody talks about their team and their culture and what kind of people they have in the room and the leaders. And like, obviously we're a service academy and we have, a different cut of athlete that comes to us to start off with. And I can tell you, every team in the league, these coaches go out and they fill their rosters with good citizens and good people and all that type of thing. But I have been here 26 years or whatever. And I've been blessed to have coached a lot of high-end, high-character people. I've had a lot of good, really, really good locker rooms. And but I can tell you, none better than this. These are really a special group. They are such good boys, and they are so motivated, and they're committed to perfection in everything, academically, athletically, militarily. This is just like these guys are just a cut above the cut, and it's fun to be around them. And usually you get a team full of guys like this that are so committed and such good kids, and the culture is so good, but then they're not very good hockey players. These guys happen to be pretty good hockey players too. So I think part of our optimism is obviously with the way we finished last year. We've got everybody back. Everybody's a year older, a year experienced, a year stronger, and but also that culture. If we can maintain that culture that we've had, which it certainly appears that we have, and then when the puck drops, are we gonna compete like we competed last year? Because if we don't, if we take our foot off the gas just one little bit, hey, there's some teams last year that were old, that were loaded with super seniors, And towards the end of the year, I just think there was some teams that wanted to play more than other teams, and they had and that's what it's all about. You need to have a room full of guys that are all in and all committed and giving it everything they got. Because if they don't, one weak link can bring you down on any given night.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time. We're up against your time allotment here, so I'm gonna let you move on. I appreciate you joining us today, and I'm sorry about the camera issue, but enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks. Thank you.
Take care. Okay, we are now joined by Army head coach Brian Riley. Coach, thank you for joining us today. I'd like to ask you to make an opening statement, and then we'll take questions.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay, Coach.
Yep,
right
yep.
ahead.
Hey, hi to everybody. I'm not sure what Frank's complaining about, having to get up early. At his age, he'd probably up to go to the bathroom 4 or 5 times, so it shouldn't be that difficult. But never easy following him in one of these things. But hey, we're excited about the season. Worst thing that happened to us last year was obviously graduation. We lost 3 forwards, Colin Bielik, who's a 2-time All-American, Eric Butte, and Daniel Hyder, who what a lot of people don't realize is the leadership qualities that they had. And I don't know if we've ever had 3 players that had more of an energy and a passion for the game of hockey. So they will definitely be missed up front. On D, we have 3 senior D that played a lot of minutes that graduated. So but saying that, we're excited about the season. It starts in goal for us. We have Gavin Abrick back, who had a good year, got dinged up obviously going into the playoffs, but had an outstanding season. And then on D, we'll have 3 senior D that played a lot of minutes. So I think on the back end, we have a foundation there that we can build off of, and some sophomores, a couple of freshmen D that will be battling for spots. Up front, like I said, we lost some key guys, but we'll be relying on one of our captains, Johnny Kiernan, Ricky Lyle, hoping that he and a Joey Baez can kind of have breakout years, and then as well some freshman forwards that have come in here. But you have to understand, it's hard being a freshman anywhere, but certainly at a service academy with what they go through on a daily basis. Honestly, I don't really count on seeing their full potentials till they start to get to their sophomore year. So hopefully we can get them experience. And one good thing about our schedule is 4 out of our first 6 games are non-league game. One of those is an exhibition against the U.S. under-18 team. So hopefully that'll give us an opportunity to get some guys, some experience, and move some guys around. Obviously, our second weekend of the year, we have a big weekend at RIT, but yeah, so we're excited about the season and looking forward to it. So I'm good for questions, Todd.
Okay, if you have a question, please hit the raise your hand function. And we do have one from Oliver Francis from Seymour Sports. Oliver, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. How are you doing?
Good, Oliver. How are you?
Not too bad. Which one of your freshmen, your plebe forwards, have kind of stood out to you the most so far in preseason?
So I as I think about it, probably maybe a Max Itagaki. He's not the biggest guy, probably about 5'6", but had a real successful year last year in the BC League. So I think we'll be counting on him early, and he'll be getting some minutes right away.
Questions for Coach? Okay, we have another question. Another question from Oliver. Go ahead.
What does it mean to have another Riley in your group working with, and who's your family rooting for when AIC plays Army this year?
Well, first of all, we never had much luck when Jack was on the visiting bench with Mercyhurst, so it's nice to have him on our side. But saying that, you know, my family's been around here at West Point for a long time. I think it's like 72 years. So my kids have grown up loving West Point and loving Army hockey. So I know that Jack's excited to be back here. He's a real good hockey guy, and to have him sit in on our meetings, and I've been really impressed with what he has to say. As far as when we play AIC and Brendan's on the other bench, I'm hoping, I know if it was just me against Brendan, his mom would be rooting for him, but I'm hoping because we have Jack that maybe that will tip the scales on our favor. But no, I'm just really proud of both of them, and to have them both in this league and college hockey is pretty neat. Like I said, it wasn't so much fun coaching against them. So this will just be something different, and excited to have Jack back here on our staff.
Okay, questions for Coach? Coach, while we're waiting, I just how's the ice time been for the guys so far? What kind of work have they been able to get in since you got them back on campus? I know things are a little different at an academy versus any of our other schools. What are they going through?
So probably the difference between us, like Air Force and us, during the summer, a lot of our guys are doing their military training. So where some schools may have their players back on campus, we obviously don't do that, but we do have an advantage. I think that we probably start earlier than, when I say we, I'm talking about us and Air Force. I think this is week 6 that we've been on the ice. Obviously, it's you can only be on the ice with them 4 hours, and it's skill work, and but nonetheless, it's good to get this group that you hope to elevate from a group to a team. Every year is different, and so we've been kind of going through that process of becoming a team, and for our older guys get to know our younger guys get to know our older guys, and it's always the same. I mean, we're a week and change away from playing our first game, and it's like, oh my God, we're not ready to play a game, but I'm hopeful that we open up with Union. I'm hoping that they're in the same boat as us, that they still have a lot of work to do. So yeah, but our guys have been working hard since they've come back, and like I said, they've been in the classroom here for 6 weeks.
Okay, Coach, thank you for joining us. That's all the time we have for you. We'll give you the rest of your day back. And, again, thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks for having me. Have a good day, everybody.
Okay, we are joined now by Bentley head coach Ryan Soderquist. Coach, thanks for joining us this morning. I'd like to ask you to make an opening statement, and then we'll take questions.
Okay, thanks, Todd. Obviously, like everybody, very excited to start the new season here. Excited about our group and what we have in our locker room. A bit of a new team for us this year with 12 new players, but some of those 12 new players do bring college experience to the table. And have played a high level of college hockey already. So very excited, like I said, about the group that we return. I think we have a very mature group, a very strong culture in our locker room that's continuing to build every single day. So just excited to get it started.
Questions for Coach Soderquist? Again, hit the raise your hand function. All right, Oliver, go right ahead.
Hi, Coach. Could you take us through your philosophy of how you kind of use the transfer portal to make your team better, and what did you see in Josh Latta specifically?
All right, so obviously we have been involved in the transfer portal the last couple of years, a little bit less this year. We did have a very large class graduate last year, so we thought it was important to bring in 3 or 4 guys that did have college hockey experience, so that our freshman class wasn't too big. We already have 8 true freshmen, so we didn't want to go any larger than that. With the 4 guys that we brought in out of the portal, like I said, I think they all have come from programs that are winning programs, that have strong cultures, that play the style of hockey that we like to play. So I feel that they're very accustomed to that. With Latta, as you asked about there, I think he's a guy that had a very strong junior career up in BC, went on to Alabama Huntsville and had a really, really good freshman campaign. Transferred out of there, obviously, with things falling apart at Alabama, and ended up at Lowell and had some injury over the course of the year and had trouble getting back into the lineup after the injury, and felt that he could be a guy that could help us. Obviously, he's a very cerebral hockey player, has a very strong hockey IQ, and he has proven that he can be successful in college hockey. So that year that he had down in Alabama, he's one of their top scorers and played probably top minutes for them.
Chris Lurch, go ahead, Chris.
Hi, Coach. Last year you got a lot of scoring from your defense. A couple of those guys have moved on. Is that still your philosophy to get more scoring out of your D, or was that more relative to the players that you had at the time?
Yeah. Hi, Chris. How you doing? First of all, good to hear you again. Yeah, first off, I guess on the D-core, I mean, every team's trying to produce through their D-core. It's really hard to score goals. Pro hockey, college hockey, you definitely need defensemen to be involved in your goal scoring. So, we were fortunate last year with a couple of our D to have some production. Both of those higher producing defensemen are gone. So we definitely have a newer D-core, but we feel confidently that we brought in a couple guys that can help produce from the back end. So, definitely looking forward to seeing if those guys can pick up that slack on the defensive side of production. But yes, as our philosophy, we do need our back end to help produce, be on the offensive blue line, joining the rush, or on the power play.
Good. Questions for Coach? Again, just hit the raise your hand function. Coach, what's been the who's stood out to you the most as your guys have gone through preseason since you got them back on campus?
Honestly, I think that what has stuck out the most is how close our guys are, and how everyone seems to be on the same page in terms of competing every single day, quite frankly. And that's kind of what I saw out of this group in terms of the recruiting process. I don't think that it's the standalone one guy or two that's standing out. I think it's depth. And, our season last year was, two tales of seasons. First half of the year, we had some really big wins, sitting in first place. Second half of the year, we got bit with the injury bug and a little bit of the COVID situation and fell apart. And that was what we thought was depth. We needed to fix our depth. You have to be able to get through adversity. You have to be able to get through injury and still be a solid hockey team. So, I don't see one guy standing out right now. I see a lot of depth, and that's what excites me.
Questions for Coach? Coach, as you look at your schedule, you've got a pretty solid non-conference slate. What excites you about what you see there early in the season in terms of your opponents?
Yeah, obviously you want to play the best teams across the country. In order to beat those teams, you obviously have to play them. And we do have, BU and Ohio State for a couple, and Maine and Union and those teams up front. So, Northeastern later in the year. But most importantly for me, we have 7 non-conference games to start the year. And I think with a new team and with 12 new guys, it gives us an opportunity to see who we are, gives us an opportunity to learn how to play the right way, and be prepared for our conference games that start up in November. So overall, I'm just excited for an opportunity of looking at October as an opportunity to grow as a team, come together, and learn how to play the right way.
How do you approach those non-conference games in terms of, mixing up your lineup and maybe looking at some different lines, that type of thing? What's the approach there?
Yeah, we take one game at a time. Honestly, we have BU on October 1st, and I'm going to go in with the best lineup and try to win. So I definitely do not look at that as, exhibitions. I don't look at it as, hey, maybe we'll play these guys one night, this guy's the other night. Our locker room, our culture is the top guys play, guys that practice the hardest play. And we try to put the best lineup that we possibly can each night to win that individual game. So we'll take it one game at a time.
Any questions for Coach? Got him on. We've got a couple more minutes here. Okay, we have a question from Seymour Sports. Go right ahead.
Coach, which non-conference opponent are you most looking forward to facing this season?
Looking forward to on 10-1. We're a week and a half away from playing BU. Obviously just kind of focusing on one game at a time. And that's school. It's 10 minutes down the street from our school. We're right in the same neck of the woods. They're right down the street. And just looking forward to that game. Just to get the boys, put the uniform on and play. So, be quite frankly, I really don't care who we're playing. I'm just excited to see our team play. We just want to prepare as hard as we can to play those games.
We got another question from Oliver Francis. Oliver, go ahead.
Coach, talk about what your new staff members bring to your group and how they've helped you this offseason.
Yeah, we're real excited about our new staff that we had. Had an opportunity to bring Ben Murphy back as an associate head coach. He had been with me for 10 years. We're very much on the same page on how we like to do business, what we expect out of our guys. So he came back from being 3 years out at St. Lawrence. So it's, he's also come back into the program with new ideas and fresh ideas. So as much as we see eye to eye on how we do business and how we like our team to be and play, he's also come to the table with a lot of new ideas, and he's fresh. He had 3 years away from here, and he's taught me a lot over the last, couple of weeks that we've been back, just talking hockey and how we do our business. So excited to have him back. Excited to have Chris Diamond in as a volunteer coach with us. He'll be helping out quite a bit with our D and our skill development. Chris was a guy that I grew up with, played at BU, was a 4th rounder, played a lot of pro hockey. He's been around for a long time. I trust him dearly. He's a very close friend of mine as well. So I'm really just excited about how tight knit kind of the coaching staff is, and also had the addition of a full-time hockey operations director this year with Gudge Gensler. And that's been a great position to have added to our program, take a lot of stress away from the coaching staff to be able to help do our jobs better. So yeah, very excited about the new staff.
Okay, Coach, thank you for joining us. I'm going to give you the rest of your day back, and appreciate your time today.
Thanks very much. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, we'll be joined momentarily by Trevor Large from Canisius. Just one second. Okay, we're now joined by Canisius head coach Trevor Large. Coach, thank you for joining us today. I'd like to ask you to make an opening statement, and we'll take questions.
Thanks, Todd. I'm sure my opening statement will be similar to the coaches on the call today. We all get excited this time of year because games are getting closer. We're starting to see our players on the ice more, so you can spend some time with them and see really what your team has. I'm obviously excited about the year. I think it's a group that's been very positive with each other and great energy and compete. A lot of leaders in the room, a lot of depth in all positions. So it's set up to be a good year for the Griffs.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Questions for Coach Large? Again, just hit the raise your hand function. Okay, Oliver, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. I got 2 questions. What are you hoping to see out of Randy Hernandez for you this year, and why do you think Jacob Barczewski? What makes him arguably the best goaltender in Atlantic hockey?
Yeah, thanks, Oliver. Two great people I love to talk about. I'll start with Randy. Randy, we're kind of crossing our fingers for good health. It was injured in November and out for the season. Excited to see Randy back on the ice because he is and continues to be one of the fastest skaters that I've seen in college hockey. The expectations for him are very high. I felt like he was on a great path prior to his injury. And now it's him just getting back healthy again and understanding exactly how we want to play. But he's a guy that creates offense every time he's on the ice. So very excited to see Randy in a uniform for us again, and cross our fingers and stay healthy. And with Barczewski, I think he has the respect of the conference, and I think the respect comes also from others. Barczewski has had a lot of success on the ice with us. The guys love him. They want to play for him as hard as they can. He has a skill and ability that, he's been able to grab a hold of the starting position since the day he stepped foot on campus. We're excited for obviously his senior year, and, expectations that he has for himself and that we have for him is for him literally just be who he is, be Barzo. We love him for it. He's a great goalie, and expectations are very similar for him as to Randy.
Okay, you said you had a second question. Oliver, go ahead.
I think those were my questions, but since you asked, do you think Atlantic hockey will be a 2-bid league or more this year? If so, why?
mean, I think you want me to say yes, right, Oliver? I wish I had a magic globe to be able to answer that question. I think there's absolutely the possibility. I mean, I think we've been improving as a conference year after year with a wide variety of aspects of keep trying to elevate our conference. One of those is winning non-conference games. It seems like we're on a good path and have some big wins last year, and I think we're all hopeful that as a conference wide that will we continue on that trend and even grow more. I think that's one path to getting another team in. There's definitely a realistic expectation that it's possible. We've only done it once. So I think it's pretty hard for me to say absolutely 100% it's going to happen, but I think the opportunity is absolutely there. And, the plan from all the coaches on this call and every team is that we get two soon. That would be the goal for the conference, if not more.
Okay, questions for Coach? You just hit the raise your hand function. Coach, look at your schedule. You start the season off with back-to-back road trips to Penn State and Ferris. And I mean, how are you approaching getting the season underway with a couple of tough trips to start the year? And what's it mean to be playing at Ferris State? What's it mean to you?
Yeah, I'll talk about the Ferris one first. It does mean a lot to me. It's my alma mater, and I get a chance to go, back to home, right? Excited that, two of my coaches are still there and be able to go back. And I already have some friends of mine and classmates that are going to come that weekend that are not just from Michigan. So that'll be a special trip for me. I know we played Ferris this year in Buffalo, and that was exciting as well. I love seeing those colors. And then when the game starts, it all goes away and you're going after them. So I know it will be important for me. My family's making that trip with me, so that just adds to a great weekend. And that's, I think, what we'll get in those first 2 weekends is, bonding opportunities with guys, right? You go on these trips, you're in a bus, you're in hotels, you're eating meals together. I think it's a great opportunity for us to continue to grow our relationships with each other. At the same time, when I talk about depth, I think a lot of guys are going to play in those games. I'm not going to say everybody, but I think there's going to be a lot of guys playing. And they get an opportunity to show what it means when they wear blue and gold. And I know that we're going to go after wins in every single one of those games. So our plan is to come back home to Buffalo 4-0.
Okay, questions for Coach? Coach, with the scoring you have coming back this year and having obviously one of the top goaltenders in the league, how does that affect your approach going into the season?
I mean, it's exciting. You start to think about, the expectations are high. We return, if you're looking at a roster, we turn a lot of talent, and we've added some talent, and we've added some depth. You got to get a little lucky. Things got to go your way. You got to have the guys come together, but the makeup of the team is extremely solid. So that has us with good feelings around the room. But we also have to stay centered and have an understanding that, we're going to have to get after it. We're going to have to be aggressive. We're going to have to, I think everybody wants to go up in the standings except AIC. And the only way to do that is to score more goals or let less in. So that's the focus of us right now is, we want some creativity and show off some skill and ability, which we have on our team for sure. And at the same time, lock it down defensively. So, we need goals for to go up. We need guys to score more than they did last year. And we need a commitment to defense that is continues to elevate us up in the standings is the plan.
Okay, thanks. Got a question from Oliver again. Oliver, go ahead.
How does the Battle of the Bridge every year and what you guys go through in those games make you a better team?
What's fun. Anytime you have, you have that word rivalry, and there really is a great one with Niagara. It's if you want to find out your best, usually it's in a rivalry game. That's what a rivalry does. It brings out the best in you. It goes both ways in that one. We have a absolute mutual respect, and we know that rivalry is going to bring out the best in whoever's wearing purple or blue and gold on that day. It goes across the campus. It's something that both campuses are aware of and care about. And that's really the best part of college athletics, is you have these rivalries that exist that everybody wants to be a part of. So we're excited to play them every year, and this year will not be different.
Okay, Coach, thank you for your time. I'm going to let you go.
Appreciate
you joining us today. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll be joined next by Holy Cross head coach Bill Riga. 1 second here. Okay, we have on the screen now with us Holy Cross head coach Bill Riga. Coach, thank you for joining us. I know you're on the road today, working on a few things for Holy Cross, but if you could give us an opening statement, and we'll take questions.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, so thank you very much. I'm glad to be on here today. Another season, excited, ready to go. We're excited to have our guys back, and we have 10 newcomers. And, I think this year we need to get some more results. So, we started from scratch basically with everything new a year ago, and we're starting from a different spot now with some familiarity and some continuity with our staff and our system and our culture. Certainly integrating new players in is always a challenge, and but I think we're at the stage now where we're looking to progress and take a step up the standings and just getting some results and talk less and win more. And I think that's the kind of what we're trying to do as a group, and just establish ourselves as a program that's on the way up and is looking to build things in years to come.
All right, thank you. We've got a question from Chris Lurch. Chris, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. Last year was the first year for you and I think your entire staff, and you alluded to this a little bit in your comments. What did you learn last year that you can take into this year?
Obviously it's a tough league, like any league is. Winning is hard. It doesn't matter, if you're young, if you're old, if you're new, or if you've been there for 10 years, like it just takes a lot that goes into winning. But I think we learned that the second half of the year, when we put in our plan for our identity and how we want to play, and we all buy in and play a certain way and a certain style, that we can have success. And I think we ended up taking points off everyone in the league, I think, except RIT at some point in the year, by the end of the year. And most of that was the second half. So we certainly progressed as the year went on. And like I said, we're starting from a different spot now. We were starting at the ground level, and now we're starting from a little bit of experience and familiarity with where we are and looking to move forward.
All right, questions for Coach. Another one here. Oliver, go right ahead.
Hi, Coach. Can you talk about what Liam brings to your program and how happy you are to have him?
McClinsky?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So Liam was someone that I had recruited when I was at Quinnipiac, and he was the leading scorer in the NCDC. 6'3", skates well, has that dynamic side. And when things got to Quinnipiac, they were able to keep some grad transfers. Some grad students there. that didn't move on, and so that limited his playing time. So he was looking for a new opportunity, and he's going to bring some of what we need. He's got that speed and that top end scoring, and I think by the end of the year last year, we're out shooting teams, sometimes by a wide margin and losing 2-1 or tying. And he's someone that can help make a difference, hopefully on the score sheet, that some of those games go our way. So we're excited to have him. Certainly there isn't a lot of difference between the way he was playing before and the system he's going to be playing now. So he's jumping right into it, not learning from scratch. So because we're doing some of the same things, but we're excited to have him, and it's certainly for us a big addition to the program.
Okay, Oliver, go ahead. Oliver, do you have a follow-up?
Yep. And the other question, what do you hope to find out about your team after you open up against the Fighting Hawks on the road here?
We're going to find out, I think, obviously where we are on a national scale at that time. But we're also going to find out, at least in our staff's eyes, where we are compared to where we were a year ago. Where we started off at the icebreaker and things were all new, and it looked different, and hopefully the look and feel of the confidence of the team and just knowing what we're trying to accomplish and how we're trying to play, we'll see right away. And the other thing, I guess, would be how are we going to react to that environment? It's a big environment. It's a bit of a big stage. It's a lot of people in a hostile environment, and see, do we maintain our calm? Do we keep our composure? Do we stay focused on playing the game we want to play? And how do we get a result that we want? And then for us, like, I know, asked the question to Trevor about, are we going to be a 2-bid league? Well, the only way that's going to happen is if we go out as a league and beat teams like that. And a lot of it's on the road. And if we want to be a two-bid league, we need to go out and beat those teams on a regular basis, or it's not going to happen. So we're going to find out early. I think a lot of us have tough games like that, where we are as a league and what the likelihood of that happening is. So it's a good barometer, for our league as well.
Coach, what's been, I guess, the difference this year versus last year when it's your first year with the squad? I've had a year under your belt. What's the preseason been like this year versus last year?
So in terms of teaching what we want to do, there's a lot more help. The captains, all the veterans, they're able to kind of help guys along, where it allows us to move at a quicker pace through our systems and where we want to get through. And plus, half the team, or more than half, kind of knows what we're doing too, right? So you don't have to spend as much time at the board teaching everything and kind of going over everything. We do update the video and everything every year, but when I say we're starting at a different place, a lot of that is just about the teaching part. We're starting from a different part of the process from the past. So it's not the ground level.
Questions for Coach? Again, hit the raise your hand function. We'll get you on. Coach, who's been the biggest, I guess, surprise to you so far preseason? Or guys maybe showing the most improvement from last year?
I would say as a unit, our goaltending has looked, a little bit better. I think last year we were disappointed kind of in our numbers and our stats, and that's not necessarily a criticism of the guys that were there. But certainly we've turned over 2 out of 3, and we've looked, to just be a little bit better in that area to help us win those close games. And right now we are in a 3-man competition. Like they've all been pretty good, and they've all, I think, been competitive, and it's really helped raise the level. And we're hoping that that's going to become a strength of ours this year with our depth in net. So I think I've been pretty pleased with what I've seen from all 3 of those guys, with our freshmen, Loudon Hogg, and the transfer from Bentley, Jason Grandy, and TJ Gale coming back as a returner. So it's been good to see those guys compete, and I think we're heading in a good direction with the goaltending.
Thank you. Any additional questions for Coach Riga? Got time for a couple more. Okay, Coach, we're going to let you go again. I know you're on the road. We appreciate you joining us, and enjoy the rest of your week.
All right. Sounds good, Todd. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, we've got a couple minutes here. We'll be joined here at approximately 12:05 by Mercyhurst head coach Rick Gotkin. Give us just a couple minutes here. Okay, we have with us now from Mercyhurst head coach Rick Gotkin. Coach, thanks for jumping on the call with us today. I'd like to ask you to make an opening statement, and then we will take questions.
All right, thank you, Todd. Hang on here. I'm just trying to start the video part. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine. I'm having a little issue on our end with the video. You may not be
Oh,
able to
okay,
get
because
that
it says
going.
you
So,
cannot start your video because the
Yeah.
host has stopped it. All right.
yeah, I'm not exactly sure
No.
what's going on there, but go right ahead.
Well, as you guys, Todd, as you know, I'm not much to look at anyway, so it's not a problem. I have the perfect face for radio, so this will work out well. Well, I'm just excited to join everybody. Oh, there you are, Todd. Oh,
Try your video again there. Let's see what you get.
yeah, it won't let me click it. Yeah, it won't let me.
Okay. Sorry about that. Go ahead. You continue. Apologize.
Yeah, not a problem. Just excited to join everybody. You know, obviously it's a really exciting time of the year. Everybody is really looking forward to playing. You know, we like our team. You know, we're different than we were a year ago, and we're certainly a lot different than we were 3 or 4 years ago. So, what I mean by that, 3 or 4 years ago, we were a really young, immature hockey team. You know, graduation took its toll on us. We lost a couple of guys that left early for professional hockey deals. And what basically has happened is, you know, the guys we have back that are now juniors and seniors and even fifth-year seniors from within have really matured, you know, and they've grown. And I think one of the best things that really happened for those guys was the run we went on in the end last year to make it to the league championship weekend, and, you know, lost by a goal to AIC. But I think we really grew, you know, as from Christmas on last year. On top of it, you know, we're just an older team. I mean, we have 5 fifth-year seniors. We have 8 seniors. We have 5 juniors. We only have 6 freshmen. So when I think of our team this year, the thing that really keeps coming into my head is maturity. We just feel like a mature group, and just, you know, through video, through our 4 hours a week on the ice for practice, it just feels like it's a really, really mature group. And we're excited to see what this group can do.
Okay, questions for Coach. First one up is Chris Lurch. Coach, Chris, go right ahead.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Rick. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Probably biggest question is goaltending. You've got a freshman, a sophomore, and the transfer from Vermont. Is that goaltending race open right now?
Yeah, you know what? Obviously, that the way Kyle McClellan played down the stretch for us, you know, that's probably our biggest question as well. We like all 3 guys. Matt Lentz obviously is the guy that's returned, and he, I think, only played 1 period of college hockey in his career, and that was last year. But he's a very, very good goaltender. Owen Say is a freshman, and he's highly touted, and we believe that he's going to have a great college career here. But at the end of the day, Tyler Harmon brings some experience, you know, transfer from University of Vermont. He played in some really big games in his career at UVM. And, you know, right now, I think, you know, he has the edge just based on experience. But we'll see how that plays out. But Chris, you're right on. goaltending is a huge piece. Goaltending usually wins, and at the end of the day, we're just anxious to see who could really emerge here. But, we like the fact that we have three guys that have three different backgrounds and really are three different stages of their careers.
Okay, next question, Oliver Francis, go right ahead.
Hey, Coach, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Oliver?
Not too bad. I'll ask you about Cade Townend. He was one of the leaders for you guys last year on the blue line. What are you expecting to see from him as one of your leaders this year, and how is he going to make your group better?
Yeah, you know what, Oliver? I think he's a guy, from day one, he was one of those freshmen that had to come in and play a lot of minutes because we needed to get better. He's part of that young group that really is matured to be an older group as a senior. So, he's one of our captains. He has played a ton of college hockey in the last 3 years and has been a big part of everything that's gone on here. So, we're counting on him to have a really, really good year. And, we felt that one of our real strengths has been our back end, our defensemen, and, we have 9 of them. And it's been tough because we really like all 9. But Cade is a guy who's clearly in our top 6, probably in our top 4. And, he's going to have a really, really good year. And I think he's ready to have that. He's had 3 really good years here.
Okay, questions for Coach? Coach, look at your schedule. You're jumping into it right away with Ohio State coming in to visit to open the season. What's it like getting a Big Ten school into your rank to open the season? How's that feel?
That's going to be great, Todd. So we have it's homecoming weekend also next weekend. So there's so much going on. There's a big college football game here, local rivalry. The women's hockey team's playing. There's a couple other sports going on. We're probably going to have a whole bunch of hockey alums returning. It's going to be hard to get a ticket in here. And like you said, having somebody like Ohio State here, certainly in the state of Pennsylvania, there's a lot of Ohio State fans just in general on Erie. So, the Mercer Ice Center is not that big, and I would venture to say if you don't have a ticket yet, you probably won't get in. But we like the way the schedule fell, and it really ended up, Todd, being just a coincidence. But all eight of our non-conference games are in the beginning of the year. So we think coming through this eight games, we're going to learn a lot about ourselves, a lot about our team, and hopefully that's going to help us as we begin league play, down the stretch.
Okay. And what about getting Penn State in for the half of that home and home series? It's got to be kind of nice having them come in to see you guys in Erie.
Yeah, that's obviously another school that resonates very, very loudly here in Erie, Pennsylvania. So, yeah, we're going to play there on the Thursday. Then they're coming back here on Friday, and that was because of their football situation at Penn State. But yeah, I mean, two excellent teams there, obviously, and 2 Big Ten teams on campus is going to be super exciting. And our guys, like I said, the word that keeps coming to my head is maturity. Just the way we kind of conduct ourselves in the weight room and video on the ice, just around the rink. We just look like, and we are, an older, mature group. And I think that really has been generated through, through the whole 5th year senior thing, the whole transfer, import, export thing. And, I got great respect for this league. I think the coaches usually get it right in the poll. I think we're going to be a lot better than a seventh seed. I really do.
Having an older lineup like that, what does that allow you to do, just from a practice standpoint or a teaching standpoint?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, we have some new guys that have to just learn how we want to play. But at the end of the day, we're playing hockey. And all these guys, whether they've been transfers or freshmen, all these guys have played at a very, very high level of hockey. And, they know how to play hockey. So we're just putting in a couple of things. We talk about the way we play systematically on the ice, and we always say, "Hey, listen, we didn't make this forecheck up. We didn't make this breakout up. We didn't make this power play up. We're all pretty much doing the same things. The question is, who does it better? on any given night, who's going to do it better? Is Ohio State going to do it better, or is Mercer's going to do it better? Is Mercer's going to do it better, or is Penn State going to do it better? So it's just a mature group, and there really hasn't been anybody that really looks like they stand out way better than anybody else, just from what I've seen in practice. Everybody looks the same. Whether that be what people might consider our first line or our fifth line. I mean, all the forwards pretty much look the same. Our 9 defensemen all look the same. And it's kind of a comforting kind of thing. I think we're going to have very, very good depth. But at the end of the day, we'll learn very quickly here a week from Saturday, where we're at. But I think we have a good team.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. We appreciate you joining us today, and we're going to let you go. Thank you for
Awesome.
your
Hey,
time.
thanks, everybody. I look forward to catching up with everybody soon. Take care.
See you.
Bye.
Okay, we'll be joined here momentarily by Jason Lammers from Niagara. Okay, we now have on screen with us from Niagara University head coach Jason Lammers. Coach, appreciate you coming on with us today. I'd like to ask you to make an opening statement, then we'll take questions.
Yeah, excited to be here. Great day to be a Purple Eagle. We're excited about getting the season started, and our guys have been putting in a lot of work on and off the ice, and we've done a tremendous amount of work in the classroom here, and we had the highest GPA on campus here last spring. We've done a tremendous job helping the campus move in, and now we're excited the paperwork season's over. We're getting closer to the hockey season, so excited for that, and look forward to the people that we've added to our group in terms of new guys coming in, and then new staff members as well. Coach Phelan is back with us this year. Nate Skidmore is going to be joining us this year as an assistant, and Marcus Allen is joining us on equipment this year as well. So excited for that, and change is change, and change is always happening. And I believe these changes will be good for us.
All right, Coach, thank you. We're going to take questions now. We've got one from Chris Lurch. Chris, go ahead.
Hi, Coach.
Hi, Chris.
You've got a really old team this year. You've got, I think, 5 graduate students and 7 seniors. What does that bring? How does that affect how you coach?
Yeah, it's Coach Godkin mentioned maturity. I think it brings a level of experience, and experience is a great teacher. So that allows you to be a better coach, because your players know what you're referencing when you talk to them as people, as students, and as players. And so we're excited about that level of maturity and experience that comes with it. We also have a younger group too, which it's an interesting blend. So they're like Labrador puppies right now, and they just want to get going, and their tongue's out, and they're ready to attack. And we're excited for what that combo brings.
All right, next question, Oliver Francis. Oliver, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, how are you?
Good, Oliver. Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir. Talk about your goaltending battle and where that's at for the season.
Yeah, so we have 3 goalies this year. We have Chad Veltri, we have Ryan Roulette, and we have Jake Seibel. So it's a little bit like I'm a Steelers guy from Pittsburgh, right? So it's a little bit like the quarterback battle that went on in Pittsburgh in training camp. In the NFL, we're in that same mode right now as goalies. They've all looked good at times, and we're just excited to watch the competition continue to bring out the best in all 3 of them. And we believe that we have 3 real good goalies.
Coach, you're starting out the year with a fairly lengthy road trip out to Omaha. What with an opening roadie like that, what do you try to use as the team bonding trip? That's a little lengthier trip than most folks are taking to start the season.
Yeah. So we love the road. We're road warriors, and so it's a great chance for our team to bond. It's really a goal of ours to play hard non-conference games to help set ourselves up for that large bid at some point. And in the year, you need to win those games. And then, for us, we really think it's a way for our team with Air Force in the league to get some practice getting on an airplane. And it seems like every year we play at Air Force. So it's a good chance for us to practice how to travel, and really brings the group closer, especially on the road and that far away, that it's us versus the world, right? And we're excited about that trip. The guys are really excited about the trip too.
Okay. Get a good steak out there too.
Yeah.
Next up is Oliver. Go ahead. You got another question?
Yes. What do you like about Egan? What does he bring to your group?
Yeah, well, that's one of the guys that Chris mentioned. He's a grad transfer here for us, so he's got great experience, and I just really like the maturity that he brings. And he's a wily veteran. It's fun to watch him on the ice. Just nothing phases him. He's very stoic. He's seen all this before, right? He's seen all the work required. He's seen goals for, he's seen goals against, he's seen loud crowds. He's been on a really good team. We're excited about what he brings. He's a really good student. So he helps our profile on campus as well. And he's going to be a good player. We're going to need him at some point, and he's going to come through at some point for us.
Okay. Any other questions for Coach? Just hit the raise your hand function, and we'll get you on. Okay, another question from Seymour Sports. Go ahead.
Hey, Jason, it's Kelsey. How are you?
Good, Kelsey. Thanks for being here.
What kind of challenges does Omaha bring being an NCHC team?
Yeah, what I've noticed over my time playing those teams that we've played in the past from that league, North Dakota, Denver, now Omaha, is the speed that they come with. Team speed is usually very impressive. The building that they play in, North Dakota, Denver, those are foreign environments and great stadiums for us to go into and need to compete. And then the third piece that I would probably say is just again, that road environment, and there's an excitement to that, but then it's a place that we can gather as a team and all unify and get ready for the season on the road.
Okay, Oliver, next question. Go ahead.
How has Lucas Bond looked for you here in the preseason, and is he kind of come as advertised?
Yeah, he's been better than advertised. He's an elite skater. He's got a great stick. He's a quiet competitor, uber competitive, and really is a very good puck moving defenseman. So he's been better than advertised, and we're very fortunate to have him and have his leadership, and then his leadership be able to leak off onto other guys, to our younger D-corps, to help them grow and help them get better at the little details of being a defenseman.
Coach, looking at your schedule, after you get back from Omaha, you've got 5 straight home games, 4 of which are against the teams that finished first and second in the coaches poll.
Yeah.
How are you approaching that stretch?
Yeah, it's a really good question, Todd. I think it's something that we haven't talked a whole lot about that yet. We're just trying to be better today than we were yesterday. And, we want to really focus on winning the day. If we do a good job of winning today, then we'll be ready for all that. But that's a long way away right now. We realize those are very worthy opponents and very good teams. But right now on our docket is improving ourselves, and then we'll be Omaha on Friday.
Okay. Questions for Coach? Got time for a couple more. Okay, Coach, we're going to let you go. I appreciate you joining us today, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, I appreciate all that you do for our league, Todd, and appreciate everybody that's on the call, making our league better and in general college hockey better. It's such a special sport, and appreciate you all promoting it. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Okay, our next, we'll be joined here momentarily by Wayne Wilson from RIT. We'll get him on here in just a couple minutes. Okay, we have with us now from Rochester Institute of Technology, head coach Wayne Wilson. Coach, thank you for joining us. I'd like to ask you to make an opening statement and we'll take questions.
We're good for sound, but not for view. Is that what?
Correct. I'm not, we have a
Okay.
little video issue here. Apologize for
No
that.
problem. Thanks everyone for joining us today, all the coaches, I guess, and excited like everyone else to start their season. We've been on the ice now for like 6 weeks or 5 weeks anyways, going into our 6th week next week. So it's been a long camp. I know we got restricted hours, but even 4 hours a week at this stage of the game is a long time. So looking forward to playing someone shortly here and start our evaluation against another opponent and start banging some other bodies. But we're excited. We finished off last year as a semifinalist in the final four of our league play, and really want to improve upon that. We think with the addition of some newcomers, one transfer, and the health of a couple of our players, we should be in really good shape. And I think we're going to be a little quicker and probably a little bit better coming into this year.
Okay. Questions for Coach? Okay, Chris Lurch. Chris, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. Probably one of the biggest things you need to replace this year is Dan Willett, both from minutes and leadership. Who do you think is going to step up to do that?
I think there's two guys right now, both of them veterans. Gianfranco has come in with a lot of confidence, and I think as we've seen in the past, we've had Greg Amlong transfer from Lowell. I think they feel like it's gonna be seamless when they transfer, and it takes him a little bit more time, but he's playing with a lot of confidence. And Aiden Bukata has come in as well, returned. I think those two in particular, but I think we have a lot more depth. Matt Kellenberger transferring in from Princeton, so I think we've got a number of guys that are going to be able to fill that void. And Dan was a real good player for us, but we've had a lot of good players, and you hope to recruit a lot of good players, and you move on, and then new guys replace that. So we're excited about the opportunity some of these guys have to increase their role, and we've got a number of them that will fit that bill.
You talk about the performance you got out of Tommy Scorpone down the stretch last year as a freshman goaltender.
Yeah, I think everyone's optimistic about the freshman, and he was someone that came in with really good numbers, although he kind of went through his junior career through the pandemic and that. But he just got better and better every day. But so he'd be coming in, I guess, as our number one goalie. But Colby Matthews is won a lot of big games for us last year as well, whether it be at Notre Dame and our Blue Cross game, and a lot of games for us. So they're going to be battling it out, and they're both going to get to play, and Dan Chenard's going to push both of them as well. But I think even though Tommy finished up the way he did and finished up very strong, and he started really strong for us this year, Colby Matthews isn't going to lie down either. So I think those two will get some ice time for both of them early, and we'll keep moving forward. But I think we've also found that just going with one for the whole year, that there are some peaks and valleys of getting tired. So I think it's good to have two that are more than capable of playing and just as importantly, winning games.
And again, speaking of your freshman from a year ago, Carter Wilkie obviously had a spectacular rookie season, winning the Atlantic Hockey Rookie of the Year and doing a number of things. He was voted a preseason player of the year this year. What have you seen out of him from a development standpoint, going from his freshman year to sophomore year?
Yeah, and he also went to the Calgary Flames
Yes.
summer camp, so he's gained a lot of confidence. He's a little bigger, a little stronger, I guess, as all players as they evolve, but particularly when they're young and their careers in college, they seem to grow in that. So he's come back very strong. But just as importantly for us, we lost some guys. Elijah Gonzalez was a third team player 2 years ago, and he had to shut it down in November last year, both hips, labrum surgery. He's come back very, very strong. So he should pick up more where he left off after his sophomore year than his junior year. Caleb Moretz was in the same boat. These are two guys that were on our power play last year, and he had his hip redone as well. And so I think there's just a lot of, along with Carter, Kobe Walker had a very good year last year. And so we've got a lot of firepower up front. And I think we'll have more depth. Last year with Will's line, that was very strong. And thankfully Carter's line came in strong, but our power play line of Caleb, Elijah, and Hammerker that graduated, the two of them, one of them couldn't even make it through the year, and the other one made it through the year, but had to get surgery. So we didn't quite have the three line depth we thought we might have last year, but I think we're back to it this year, that we're really excited about the depth that we have in all our positions, quite frankly.
Okay. Questions for Coach? Okay, Oliver, go right ahead.
Hi, Coach. Who are some of your standout rookies for you? Who have they been in camp for you so far?
Actually, all of them have shown quite well. That we've been happy with. I'd say on defense, the guy that probably came up with the most accolades on defense, anyways, was Xavier Lapointe, who won the scoring for defenseman in the Saskatchewan League, was named the top defenseman at the Centennial Cup, which was the Canadian Junior A Championship. So he comes in with a lot of accolades and hasn't disappointed. Gustav Blom on defense has also been very good. Up front, I'd say Simone Isabel has had a very good camp so far, and we'll have to wait to see how he does once we start playing outside competition. But we've been happy with him. Tyler Mayhem, Philippe Jacques. We've really been excited about the whole group, but maybe Simone and Xavier are a little bit ahead, but I think they're going to blend in real well. We've got good balance on our team, so I don't think we're neither young or old. And as I mentioned, I guess a little bit earlier, Matt Kellenberger coming in as a transfer. We really don't depend on the portal for the makeup of our team. We use the portal if we need to supplement different areas and on our team, and Matt's going to fit in real well as well.
Coach, what's the you didn't say rule change that allows you to give scholarships now? What's that done for you from a recruiting standpoint?
Well, it's probably going to kick in a little bit more now. It's the guys we have rewarded our present players with scholarships, so it's really reward for their commitment and their effort to the program. All student athletes, not just our team, but really are committed. They miss a lot of, they miss every weekend. It's the longest playing sport. So every weekend, almost really from October 1 to April 1, your weekends are tied up, and holidays and the commitment of coming back at Christmas when many students are still enjoying that. So I think it's partly for that, but the scholarship piece, as we are just getting oriented with it all right now, really will start kicking in next year when we have probably recruited scholarship athletes on our campus for the first time. So most of our recruiting was done prior to us even getting word that we were going to get scholarships. So it's a little bit delayed. And then, what's the program look 4 years from now, I guess, is the end result. But it's really taken a bit of a burden off of both Dave Insalaco and Brian Hills, two guys that have worked their tails off without scholarships to put us in a real good position and be, one of the top teams, both in conference and out of conference.
Okay. Any other questions for Coach? Okay, Coach, thank you for joining us. We'll let you go. I appreciate you spending some time with us this afternoon.
Yep, thank you.
We'll be joined here in just a couple minutes next by head coach Cj Maritello from Sacred Heart. We'll get him on here at approximately 12:35. We are now joined by Sacred Heart head coach Cj Maritello. Coach, we would like to ask you to make an opening statement, then we'll take questions. Again, thank you for joining us.
Todd, do you hear me?
Yep, you're on.
Oh, okay, great. So I understand no video. Is that how we're?
Yes, we're having an issue here. Okay. I'm not able to rectify that.
All right, no problem. Well, obviously appreciate all you being here on this call today, and the passion all of you bring for college hockey, and especially our league. And I know I speak for our players on that as well. As the year goes along, all of you are the ones telling our stories for our guys. So thank you for that. A little bit about our league. I think our league continues to show great growth every year, and this year it'll be no different in how in terms of how hard this league is going to be from top to bottom. The job all the coaching staffs do and bringing in great people and talented players. This year it continues to amaze me. The work that our league does, covering the world and bringing in the players that we all do. A little bit about our team. We're going to have 12 seniors this year. And out of the 12, there's only one new player, which I think is a little unique. It's been a long time since we've had that type of veteran presence and leadership. We feel our lineup is long. And what I mean by that is we feel we have depth up front and all forwards line, all 10 defensemen, and all of our goaltending. And our group we fell short last year, and prevailing feel within the group is that we have a lot to prove this year, as we start this year, next week. Extremely excited about the schedule we have put together, and, looking forward to playing at UMass next week.
Okay, Coach, thank you. One piece of business, obviously, you're middle of the season, you're going to get a little boost when you move into your new on-campus arena, the Martiri family arena. What's it been like pulling into the office every day and seeing that building going up on campus?
Yeah, I drive by it every day, so it's probably the second most exciting part of my day. The first is getting on the ice with the guys. But as excited we are as a coaching staff, we haven't talked much with our players about it at all. They have classes over there and they see the building, but our focal point has been be great where you are right now. And right now we're at Total Mortgage Arena, and that's where our sole focus is. But it has been an added boost without question in our recruiting efforts as we bring in young men to show our campus and our new arena. We get to walk them around. It's definitely elevated that area for us.
Okay, we got a question from Chris Lurch. Chris, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. You alluded to it. You've got almost everybody back from last season. You're very deep. how does that affect the way you're structuring your special teams? Are those set, or are you still working those out?
We have ideas right now. We haven't even gotten into special teams yet. We'll hit that early next week. Right now we're just building our team game. Power play was an area of struggle for us, and I thought last year we had enough talent and skill to be better than what our numbers were. So that's going to be something that we're really going to dig into. We have some different ideas as we get into it this year, but we haven't worked on it yet with our group. But it's going to be an area that we really zone in on shortly, Chris.
Okay, next question from Oliver Francis. Oliver, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. What are you expecting out of Chikara Hanazawa this year, and how excited are you to have him on your team?
Yeah, Chikara, he's a great kid. I know him probably a little bit better than some of the other freshmen since he played with my son last year. So I got to see him and know him as a player and as a person. And he's been great so far. Really great skater, high IQ. He's great to coach, comes to the rink every day with a smile, willing to learn. So he hasn't disappointed on any level so far.
Coach, starting the year with a couple exhibition games, now the NCAA's changed that a little bit. What having those two back to back, what's that allow you to do in terms of prep for the start of the actual games that count?
Yeah, originally our schedule wasn't set up like that. We were playing, I think, Merrimack, and the new rule came in where you can play some games, and we tweaked the schedule. And as a staff, we're very happy that we did that. It's going to allow us to see everybody play. Everybody will play at least one game over the weekend. We can, play around with different line combinations without the pressure of like, hey, this is a game that, you got to win. Obviously, we're going in it to win it, but we're going into it with a much more open mind and being flexible in how we, use our bench and use players in different situations. So hopefully it'll answer a lot of questions for us before we play Providence the following weekend.
Okay. With the amount of scoring you have coming back in your lineup, and I guess just having a deep or an older team, how have you approached again preseason, knowing you've got so many guys coming back with so much experience? What's that do for you from a preparation standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, it's they know the language we're talking. With as many guys coming back, there's a fire in their belly. There's been a purpose to everything that we've done in practice in terms of in the weight room, watching video. There's been a laser-like focus. Our practices have been really crisp, more so than, in recent years, on a consistent basis. And I think having that veteran leadership, those are the guys you're going to lean on to do it. There's incredible buy-in right now. So, and with the returning scorers, I mean, we think it's a strength of our team. I think we're just going to have to really buy in and play hard together. And there'll be enough pucks to go around. And I think we'll be a team that creates a lot of offense. That's what we're hoping. And the guys have great chemistry so far.
Okay. Questions for Coach? We got time for a couple more. Okay, Coach, we'll let you jump off. Sounds like you got practice going on there. Let's get back to to work. Thank you for spending some time with us today.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Todd, and thank you to everybody on the call. Have a great day.
You too. Appreciate it. Okay, we got a couple minutes here. We'll be bringing Eric Lang from preseason favorite AIC on here in just a minute. Okay, we've now reached the final speaker of the day, and we are joined by AIC head coach Eric Lang. The Yellow Jackets were voted the preseason favorite in our coaches poll this year. And coach, I'd like to ask you to make an opening statement, and then we will take questions from the group.
Great, Todd, and thanks for everybody for being on the call, and to echo, I just tuned in for CJ, echo CJ's sentiments, everything everybody does here for college hockey. Interestingly, just listening to CJ and him talking about his returning players and how senior heavy, and just thinking we're the exact opposite. And then we've had some really good success in the league here the last 4 seasons, and we're a little bit more so this year than years past of a little bit of an unknown. We graduated 10 really good players. We lost 4 of our better players in the transfer portal, and there's 18 new faces at AIC here. And, we obviously remain still extremely optimistic in our approach. And, it's kind of exciting and invigorating. I think last year as a coaching staff, we had to do a good job of staying out of their way. I think early on this year, we have to do a better job of getting these guys ready to play college hockey. And like I said, 18 new faces, and we're getting to learn each other here. And it's been very exciting for not only myself, but our staff as well. I think nothing changes for us in terms of our non-league schedule. We continue to try and schedule the better teams. We've got UMass Lowell, UMass Amherst, we've got Cornell, University of Vermont, which will be a very good hockey team this year. And, at the end of the day, we've had some really good success in terms of Atlantic hockey. And one of our goals this year, as last year, is to make sure we're holding up our end of the bargain in terms of our non-league play. So lots to be excited about here for us here at AIC. And we want to continue on what we've done in this league over the last few seasons.
Okay. I'm going to open it up to questions, and we'll start off here with Chris Lurch. 1 second. Chris, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. You kind of alluded to this in your comments, but you've had a winning formula for 4 years. This is probably your biggest challenge in that time in terms of new faces. Does that formula change? Do you do things differently based on what you have now?
I think the one thing we've done a really good job of the last 4 seasons is not staying where we are, and we've continued to tweak and adapt the way we play. And we do an incredible breakdown at the end of every year, and finding ways to make us better. And the one thing we haven't, if you looked at the way we played 4 years ago, and you look at the way we played last year, I think you'd see, almost 2 different types of hockey team. And, what we're going to continue to evolve here, not change in terms of how we need to play to be successful. There's non-negotiables in our program, but I do think we have to evolve and adapt to what we have now. And we're really learning about this new personnel. And interestingly, like in theory, you think you lose all of these players, and maybe we think, hey, this could be a year we take a step back into the pack. And quite honestly, like, I'm really encouraged about what we see on the ice, and this could be the fastest team we've ever had here in terms of the way we can skate and get up and down the ice. And our goaltending depth is incredible. We've got 4 guys that really look like they can, that look the part anyway. It's going to be very interesting, but we're very encouraged by what we see early here.
Okay, next up, Oliver France from Seymour Sports. Oliver, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. How are you doing?
Hey, Oliver.
So my question here would be, what have you seen out of Alex Tertishny in the offseason? He is now a sophomore defenseman. What are you looking for him to improve on this year?
Alex is probably one of the top human beings we've coached here, in terms of a guy that hasn't been rewarded for everything he puts into our program. We did tell Alex he's a guy that has to get stronger and come back in what we call Division I winning hockey shape. And he's put on some great muscle mass, and he definitely looks like he's taken a huge step for us here. We have 9 defensemen. We've got a really good transfer in from University of Minnesota Duluth. Rosenbaum, who looks like he's going to really help us. And, the one thing that's steady out of all the pieces we have lost from a year ago, we still believe we have the best D-core in the league, and the strength of our team is from our defensemen out.
Okay, another question from Kelsey from Seymour Sports. Kelsey, go ahead.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Kelsey.
With 18 new faces, what do you think is going to be your most difficult challenge this season?
I think it's for us because in terms of everything that is in our playbook, we're pretty complex. There's just a lot of branches in each system and how we want to play, and we can't try to be good at everything early on here and really understand that we, like years past, we want to be playing our best hockey late and to not rush into. It's almost like if we want to do multiplication, we have to master the art of addition, and that's where we are right now. And it's a real crawl, walk, run process for us, and making sure we don't skip any steps along the way. And I think for us, in terms of our staff, is being patient inside of that and understand that our best hockey will be late, and that some of these freshmen second semester are going to be better hockey players than they were maybe in October and November. So I think that's the biggest thing is getting them up to speed with how we want to play and who we are. And then I think for us as a staff is really remaining patient, knowing that good days are coming. Like, this is the best recruiting class we've ever had here. And we've been really reliant on our older players in years past. And I can tell you that our best players on the ice right now, some of them are freshmen, and we're going to have to give them the ball and let them make some plays and let them get adjusted to college hockey. And but it's kind of interesting with everything that's gone out. Our expectation is still the same. We want to we want to win the Atlantic Hockey regular season. That's really important to us. To be a program that's won it 5 times in a row. We were the only program that's done it 4 times in a row, and I think we get into unprecedented territory if we're able to do it 5 times. And that the goal doesn't change here because of what we lost and how young of a team we will be.
Okay, Oliver, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. So my question is around your goaltending. 2 parts. What does each one bring to the room, and what is your goal? Are you looking for a number 1, or are you kind of looking for a platoon, kind of like what you had last year?
Well, it's a good question. We've always been like a 2 goalie team here throughout our history, and the split tends to be 60-40. Jared Fisk, who has been our goalie in our program for 4 years, and he's been stuck behind some really good goaltenders. Like, he's been stuck behind 2 goalies of the year, and Jake Kucharski, who was goalie of the year last year. So he's really been behind some high-end goaltenders. I mean, he's a guy that in theory we thought would be a backup or a guy that maybe is a number 3 here, and he looks tremendous. Alex Islandis, who's come in from Western Michigan, who's a big goaltender and moves as well as a guy that we had in here, Zach Skog, from a few years back. He looks outstanding. We have a battle-tested goalie who won a championship in the USHL, and Boynton, who's come over to us from the University of Minnesota. And then Cobran is another goaltender who's been battle-tested in Hockey East and has played games and won games at Merrimack. And he's won games at Merrimack when they weren't the Merrimack that we know of right now. So we've got the goaltending depth we have right now is incredible. And there hasn't been. We'll see how it plays out. They're certainly all going to get minutes early in the year, and at the end of the day, we want to make sure we have the right guy in there at the end of the season.
Okay, looks like we have time for one more question. That's going to go to Kelsey from Seymour Sports. Kelsey, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. You have a relatively new coaching staff, bringing on in Brandon full-time. What does that mean to you and the changes that it'll make with these younger players?
Yeah, the good news and Matt Woodard, has done an incredible job bringing in like I said, one of the best recruiting classes we've ever had here. And Brendan, who hasn't yet done any recruiting, but is extremely familiar with our program, having been our ops guy from a season ago. And you know what, we hire great people. We've moved on some tremendous assistants. Mike Towns now at Michigan State, and Corey Schneider, who was great for our program, is now down at Clarkson, and Steve Weidler is over at the University of Vermont. It's great opportunity for a young guy like Brendan to come in here, and he's going to give us everything he has in terms of he wants to make this his own. And it's for us here with our assistants, nothing really changes in terms of how we're going to play. And Brendan knows better than most what we do here to be successful at AIC.
Okay, Coach, thank you for joining us. That wraps up the call. We appreciate you spending some
Awesome.
time with us.
Thank
and
you.
Let's get your day back. Okay, all that concludes our Atlantic Hockey Media Day for the day. Appreciate your participation. And I apologize for the video issue. We were not able to rectify that. We were trying to here behind the scenes. And we're unable to figure out what the issue was. This call will be archived on our YouTube channel, and I will send out a link to it once it's ready. This should be later this afternoon, and it will also be available through our social media channels. So again, thank you for joining us, and have a good day.